three, let's go! Hello everyone and welcome back to Adjacent with Jace, the tabletop interview review show for The Adventures of Nethoria, brought to you by the Black Tower Stories. I'm your host Jace. And with me today, 12/2/21 is a date that no one should shun because it's a palindrome that has shown that it shouldn't be littled. I'll show you it's double 22 right in the middle. Logging on and stepping in from the right, a DM to rant and grieve his plight. He couldn't end the session without a fight. Try as he might, no end to the jokes in sight. He says he's ready, all right. Give us a fright in the middle of the night. Here with lore to recite. It's Eric the Slight. As I slide him on in. Do, do, do. And there is so much more. Now, up from the cellar, a temporary dweller, here to get in line after serving his time. His attempt to take over just left a cold shoulder. He was shunned from the show for how long he didn't know. Now Momo's back again, not making the same mistakes. He'll stay on the producer's good side or suffer far worse fates. Momo from the cellar. Hello everyone and welcome the two guests. I'll try not to make a habit of it because it's like a pain in the butt to get two people on here. So, Welcome Eric, welcome Momo, and as Eric said in the pre-show, a trio of DMs apparently.
Yeah,
when it's
a
just
tale
two,
of three DMs.
When it's just two, it's pretty boring. But three,
yes.
But
three,
jokes
you get some
on
interesting
you,
stuff.
We can gang up on the one when there's three of us.
Because Momo is in from your house. So now he has access to all of your private documents, which is only going to aid him in future attempts to take over your show.
Ah.
He has access to my Wi-Fi. Oh no!
Oh no!
Yes.
Just the Wi-Fi.
His ploy, and it is a ploy that he doesn't have internet, is simply there to get in close and learn all your passwords and get your string key.
I use like three passwords, so that's not very hard.
And just biding that time there for that one moment where I can strike and take it all.
You think you're being clever, but you know in the movies we do hack their stuff and like, oh, you've ruined me financially. I'll just go and beat you up and go.
Yeah,
I'll go to jail. I will literally just beat you the hell up.
Yeah,
yeah. Money. It's resorting to violence now.
Anyway,
welcome everyone to Adjacent with Jace. We're back in the tavern. There's a few changes again. See if you can spot all of them.
I spot two. Is it just two?
There's always changes.
I know, but is it just two? Because I think I see two.
Okay, well.
Oh, wait, never mind. I think three. Never mind. We'll go at the end.
So, in the chat, go ahead and chat away if you find them. Say it all you want. Eric and Momo can't really see the chat unless they're like watching it like they're supposed to be. But file in your questions because we're going to be reviewing the last episode of Black Tower Stories featuring the Adventures in Athoria. Also, the final thoughts on Gorbek's Lost Days. That's why Momo's here. We were going to have it last week, but it was Thanksgiving, and I was in a food coma. So,
Hey, me too.
I might have thought I was dreaming and streaming at the same time, but it was just possibly a stroke. But bring in those questions while you can. One of the thoughts on one of the things that are different today's specials: 3 burgers? No, that is not 3 burgers. It's
You're half right.
One of those is burgers, but the top word is incorrect. And if you watch the last episode of Adventures in Athoria, you would kind of know the joke. And you'll see it in about 30 minutes when I show it for our special art reveal.
Oh,
I
know what it is.
Yeah, poor Ari. He lost it several times last session, which is actually something because Sean can keep a pretty straight face, like easily. So to make him loll that much, it's got to be good.
So again, bring in your questions if you want to question Momo about his odder choices and Eric about his odd choices. But I have a question set up again. Momo, are you looking forward to potentially playing Mr. Otten again in our campaign?
Yes.
Do you think it'll happen?
No. Okay, and that is not because I'm never going to be asked to come back or anything like that. No, it's purely because I think given the chance, Ari and Arthur will avoid it at all costs to go back and see me.
Like, we could learn druid things, or we can avoid him entirely.
Yeah, and I think that's what the big thing is there. Is like, I would love to come back for a couple more episodes here and there in the future whenever story dictates, but at the same time I don't think it's going to be something actively pursued. That would be
that would probably happen is I'll be like, hey Jace, we got this awesome thing, I'm going to bring in these extra players, and then you're going to be like, no, that's too many cameras for me to set up.
Like, cool, it's going to look like shit.
Be like, can't you just work your producer magic thing? You're just
No,
like,
I'm
that's not how it works.
I want to make a clear, concise statement during the thing. It's like, it looks like crap because I'm not rearranging for 14 players. This battle royale is stupid. Oh,
God. 14 players. The good old days. Back when we had way more Dr. Pepper and didn't sleep for 3 days straight.
GC1.
I don't know what you're talking about. I slept.
I'm reliving... He's also living my GC1 dreams because I might not have a rhinoceros, but I got a murder cow, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, you got
Yes, you did.
murder.
Murder.
Deer, but
Murder cow.
murder, yes.
I love.
Unfortunately, the orcs do not have the same enunciation of more deer, but
murder it is.
Murder.
Eric, do you have plans potentially in the future? Because you said in some of the passings of the other episodes that it was planned for Momo to come in at a later date. How much did Bevo fuck up your plans because you had to bring in everybody?
Oh, God, Bevo. Yeah, I pretty much had to pull the ripcord on a lot. So there's 2 ways that we were looking at it. So first off, I asked Momo a long time ago, hey guys, they're going to be going up into the mountains. I imagine since Arthur knows that there's this druid group up in the mountains and he wants to travel there, he might try and do both of these at the same time. So if that's discussed, then Momo, be ready, so that way they've got a guide to get through the mountains and at least take him to the druid place. And then the druid place was going potentially to be your refuge while you're running around doing shit in the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
But then that never happens, and you guys are just like, oh yeah, eventually we're gonna go to the druid place in the mountains and handle my shit, but instead of doing that, let's just go to the mountains and handle goblins. So it's like, okay, all right, yeah, sure. But then it's like, all right, Momo, sorry, we don't need you just yet. And so his character kind of sat in my off campaign on D&D Beyond like forever. And then he'd be like, "Do you think that you'll need me this week?" And be like, "Oh no, sorry."
So cute and adorable.
Yeah, I don't think we'll need you this week. And,
Yeah.
yep. And then it was like, okay. And then it's like, all right, they're doing this. What if we brought you in this way? And then you guys didn't do that. And it's like, all right, well, what if they do these different things, we can bring you in these different ways? And you guys didn't do it. So when like Gorbeck did his thing, I was like, all right, you know what? Fuck it. This is happening, Momo. This is happening.
We're finally gonna do it.
Yeah, because I fucking said so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, what? That character sat around built for like
The beginning of the campaign.
3 months.
Almost.
Since
Yes.
the beginning.
Like,
When you found out that Sean hated when Ari hated otters, like, well, I'm gonna make an otter person.
Oh yeah.
Which
Yeah, and
entirely on you for
basically,
beating the crap out of you.
I think by the time you guys left House Select, we had already had that character ready to go.
Oh yeah.
Eric, were you surprised with the weirdness of the characters that both Tater and Momo decided to make for the Under Mountain sessions?
Yeah, it is kind of weird, especially because like Tater mentioned this, but they didn't have any conversation between Momo. I mean, like, obviously Tater knew that Momo was going to be playing an otter, or he knew it was a possibility. He knew it was going to have something to do with otters, but Tater didn't know definitively that we had an otter race for him to play. So Tater assumed it was going to be otter related, just didn't assume it was going to be that much otter.
100% otter.
100%.
Pure
and then
pulp included.
Yep, and then Tater was like, "Hey, can we do this for my character?" I'm like, "Yeah, fuck it, why not?" It's
That's
like
basic.
we'll roll with it. And then he's like, "Yeah, no problem." And so, yes, literally, like the first time I believe they got to know what each other were playing were when we were getting ready to sit down and do the first episode.
That's not entirely true.
Okay.
Tater and I both showed our character art off to each other beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
So we had known at least very well, because like we were given our information for Britmix, who did the art for him, and it was just giving enough information to keep vague, but at the same time it's very clear and apparent what we were playing at that point. It's like, oh my god, how did you come up with the same idea as me?
Other question for Eric: How, what made you decide that you had to do Russian as well, since Tater was doing Russian for his lizard folk?
Because if Tater was doing Russian for his lizard folk, then if he's a member of that thing, I'm like, okay, I guess all of them have to do Russian.
His quote's Russian.
Russian. Yes.
Russian.
It's not Russian, because we're not trying to emulate any particular society.
Eastern European.
Yeah, it's a choice that Tater made, and part of it, I think it was because he was like, I played a Dragonborn and he had a Russian accent, and this is basically the same thing. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Close enough.
Lizard folk are adjacent to Dragonborn. Everyone knows that. Well, that's like Russian. Eastern European is the language of the dragons. Dragonborn for Draconic. It's like Spanish is for Goblin. We got some questions that have come in from the chat. I'll finally go to them, I guess. Question for Jace: How long did you think Izal can keep Murder alive? Murder's got more hit points than like everyone in the party but Izal. So, and Murder's probably very violent. So, and she also deals more damage than most of the party as well. Murder should be okay. I mean, Murder's not throwing around steel and casting spells. So, ideally, the people will draw the attention. Like, you're gonna kill a horse, or you're gonna kill the cow that can probably kill you back. So,
In fairness, none of the campaigns I have ever been in or watched have very good track records with horses.
Yeah, for one,
Yeah.
I know damn well if I got a horse, my luck would continue, and I would not have that horse for long. As
Yeah.
I went through the Felicity 5 in the last campaign, and in a 3-year campaign, I lost 5 horses.
Yes. Yes,
One
that's
of
what I
them
was
I
going to
literally
say.
just lost. I was like, I don't know where the fuck that horse was.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what was it? In your campaign last session that we did, Jace, you killed 3 horses.
Yeah. Green Dragon Death's a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, Izal made that comment where she was like, my family does not have very good track records for horses, but surprisingly, they have very good track record for not horses.
Yeah.
So
Bigger and
that works
they
out.
are.
And Jace's last character, from the last campaign, yes, went through 5 horses. 3 of those, we don't nothing that we know of really bad happened to them. It's just like they traveled somewhere on horseback and then ended up teleporting back. And they're like, oh shit, we have horses there. It's like, well, I guess there's someone else's now.
At that point, someone else has the horse.
But you get a mammoth. You can hold on to a mammoth for a while.
The same with the rhino.
Yeah, Chuck Norris was the name of Axel's rhino back in campaign 1. That thing lived. I didn't do anything with it, but it was just fun having a rhinoceros.
Yeah.
And I have a murder cow. Yeah.
Yeah. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Kelder in the last campaign almost bought an elephant.
There was an elephant for sale when we were level 2. Or level 2 or 3.
And you guys were trying to get mounts to head north to Karengar.
It's like I can't afford that. I could afford the elephant, but literally be broke. Which, if in hindsight, I should have done it because I was broke the entire campaign anyway. So why not start it off the right? But like Taylor said, he wanted Malinar. Malinar had way more money than me, so he could have bought it. But the little halfling would have been hilarious buying an elephant.
The sad part is Malinar that entire time, little klepto, murder hobo, child halfling thief.
He's a murder orphan, not a murder hobo.
Yeah, murder. Well, he is a murder hobo because he's an assassin and he's a child.
Not a hobo.
He hasn't even. For real here, man. He looked like he was a hobo, and more than that, Malinar still had shit in his inventory that no one in the party even knew he had until they went through his corpse.
I'll say Omlik lost more money in one night from stupid guards than Kelder had the entire campaign all put together. It's like,
yeah,
you had
just a
how
reminder.
much in that fucking bag of holding? It's like, oh yeah,
all of our money.
How often was I asking for things because I was broke all the time because I was spending money on diamonds, you assholes? Like, I could
yes. So note to any DMs out there watching, just a reminder that if you pierce a bag of holding, it ruptures and everything inside is scattered to the astral sea.
Mm-hmm.
If you're concerned about your players abusing that benefit too much, then little reminder.
Word of wisdom to the players, though: don't put all your gold on one player. Keep it to yourself. Do not spread it around. You will lose everything if one of them go away.
The idea is to spread it around. Don't give it all to one person. Don't put all your golden eggs in one basket. Question for Jace: what creature do you think Murder will kill first, and why is it Calum? It's very likely. Murder's very dumb. And if Murder feels threatened, we'll attack the closest thing to her. And if it's Calum, well, I told you, 4d8 on a charge, plus 5. That's a Calum.
Yeah, that is one Calum.
Or it was a Calum. Now it's murder fodder.
Yeah, that's a deal 1 Calum worth of damage right there. New bar item number 2. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. Sound 1. Another question. Question for Jace: what will you do when your murder cow attacks a party? Is he's all prepared to murder? Yes, I'm not entirely attached to murder cow yet, but I I think the murder cow's cool, so I can subdue the murder cow. I mean, people
And
probably
even
fall
more,
unconscious, but I can subdue it.
I think that if murder murders someone in the party, that's only proof that murder is
a valued member of the
worthy
party.
of Izal murdering her.
That's right, a worthy opponent. Not like
A
anyone
worthy
else in
opponent.
the party.
Yeah.
Keep them around for later whenever you're bored.
Well, I need someone in the party who could deal damage besides Volred and Arthur. Murder also is very difficult to put to sleep. I mean,
That's true.
Caleb could get second level spell slot and get really good rolls, could put murder to sleep, but it's just not likely to happen.
Murder can put Caleb to sleep.
The deep sleep. On to another question. Question for DM. Why did you choose to have Ziggle leave the party with no party moment? Do you think he'll be missed and will return as the big bad evil guy?
Okay, so let's unpack that in pieces. Why he left with no party moment? Because that's on brand.
He did want to get far away from us as quickly as possible.
He did.
He was done with us.
Well, he was done with certain members of your party. But more than that, yes, I fully imagine that you guys got there and pulled your regular not paying attention to Ziggle thing. And then next thing you know, like a child who is in a place they're unfamiliar with, when the parent walks 10 feet away, they immediately just get lost and swept over. So the choice is, the real thing is, did Ziggle leave or was Ziggle left?
Oh, he left.
No, Ziggle left.
He fucking left.
Ziggle left.
And
I ain't keeping track of all of our kids. Okay.
as far as will he be missed? No, I don't. I think the party is like, oh yeah, but I think there's so much Mizak love. I don't think anyone really cares too much about Ziggle.
I have a question for Eric that I just thought of on the spot. When are we going to get the next small creature for us to adopt? Have you already planned more small creatures?
Well, I had thought of one, and then was like, you guys made the comment about small creatures, and was like, okay, well, trash can. Because I was like,
never
oh
find
well.
anything that is not a medium size or bigger anymore. Everything will be just big.
Yeah,
he
next
refuses to
time
give
he's
us
gotta
small
be-
things.
Just
Yeah,
baby
you gotta.
creatures, that's it.
Next time, you guys got to find a giant, or who knows,
Well,
I don't know.
The giant.
The lovable
or
bugbear.
or a Vana, or something. Who knows?
We just got attacked by bugbears. Let's adopt one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're goblinoid.
That's a good idea.
Necro hamsters. Okay,
Always
on to
throw
a
some squirrels
question
at
that
'em.
was already put together. Question for all: favorite moment from Lost Days. I know my favorite moment when it was over.
Yes, Momo, as a player,
Mhm.
did you, player / mod, did
Yeah.
you have a favorite moment, or are those moments different? Is your moment as a player different than your moment as a moderator /
Oh, let's see.
viewer?
From the viewing side,
From the viewing standpoint, my favorite moment is slightly different, I would say. But as a player, my favorite moment was the very, very end of it. Receiving my wonderful little gift that I got from Elideth. But as a viewer, I would say it's probably more along the lines of hearing Bebo's song that he did.
Yeah. Which is kind of sad because he wanted to do that song in session 1, and then it
Mhm.
just.
Never got to it.
Well, because he was waiting for a time of extended respite, and it just didn't work out that way. And
Mhm.
so that's why he was like, afterwards, he's like, man, we should have played longer. And I go, dude, I mean, we weren't going to do a 4-hour session.
No.
It's like, yeah, I know, but I wanted to sing a song.
now it's sing-song time.
As for me, as a dungeon master, I definitely enjoyed that flash of dark Gorbeck.
Yeah.
Because I I think it's always fun when you start revealing a little bit of stuff there.
Kebrog.
Keprog.
Yeah, Kebrog. Yeah,
Or
there you go.
peppers. It's Keprog.
Kebrog.
And so yeah, I think that's going to be interesting, and I live for the day when that happens again and the other party members see it.
Ooh.
I'm also kind of curious because Bevo and I haven't really discussed it that much, but there's some, willful denial and ignorance over what happened. And the question is, like, to what extent does Gorbeck know what happened? And is he just trying to be in denial and say that didn't happen? Or does he know what happened and he just doesn't want to share it with the group? Or, you don't know. And so I imagine, though, when it pops up in the future and the party members actually see what's happened, they're like, wow, this is a problem and we need to discuss it.
Yeah. I have my own personal thoughts and theories about that.
What is it? What is your thought and
Give
theory?
us, now's your time, because you're not
Now
getting
is
back
my
on the
time.
show for another 3 months.
Probably.
Yeah.
So I don't think that this is the first time that this has happened with Gorbeck. He's very hidden about his own past and whatnot, but there's enough information there that you could probably assume that it happened before in the past, and that's the reason his entire tribe is dead. That is my theory.
Good theory. I had a similar one for it. Well, I will answer the question because my joke was when it ended was my favorite part. My favorite part from, not as a player, I'm guessing from an editor, was the sound selection for when Gorbeck does Dissonant Whispers. I'm really proud of that one. All the other ones were just like, I need to find a sound, like, put it in here. But Dissonant Whispers with the weird rattling noise for it, like, I really like that one. I did not like having to edit any of it. It's a real bitch, especially the second episode.
Okay, well, that's sad because I was going to offer, if you wanted, we could tape all of this stuff so that way you could edit it.
You go to hell.
All right, yeah.
I got session zeros I'm still worried about because those just are bad.
Oh, those are that'll take someone with divine inspiration to fix. Okay.
There's like no
Yeah.
audio for one of like the first chunk of the first
Yeah,
episode.
there were yes, session 0 was a test in many ways, and it tested us in many ways. As much issues as we have on occasion, that is still much better than the session 0.
There's a reason we got it knocked out in those, and we did those months. We did like a month or so before we even had our first session 1. Because we needed to get those out of the way. Because if we did that session 1, it would we would have been awful.
Oh God, it would have been so bad.
Yeah. I actually have a question for you two, because I'm allowed to ask questions, right?
Anyone's allowed to ask questions, but I can mute
So-
you at any time.
Okay, that's true. You reserve that right. So my question is, obviously, this can be both from a production standpoint or just player standpoint or stuff in that. But what are things that you would like to see as improvements, either to the storyline or the way that we do stuff? Like, where can we do better?
That's an interesting question.
I say from the viewing point of seeing it, because I see it, the layouts are okay. I think there's a lot of just shit going on that is kind of distracting from my point of view, mostly because I'm distracted by everything else because I've heard everything when I watch it again, so I don't really pay attention, so I'm looking around all kinds of shit. So if I could find a way to streamline just that look but also keep it a fantasy look, it's just fine-tuning all of the nuances that are behind the screen that would be helpful. As far as keeping it active in the stream, I think we just gotta we're in our groove. We have times when we're really into it. We're role playing. We're bouncing off each other, and that's really entertaining. But there's times when we're kind of like, what are we supposed to be doing right now? And we're trying to work our way to that next step. But once we get to that step, we're good. It's that weird in between parts that we're still working on.
Yeah, I can see that because I know like this last episode especially there's a lot more side banter and stuff, but I don't know how much of that is just that we hadn't really seen each other.
We haven't played so long.
Yeah, and it's like none of it, and we're still having to, find our freaking feet again. I know, like for me, I gotta like seriously up my Roll20 skills. I definitely think combat can be smoother, and so I'll have to take responsibility for that.
From a viewer perspective, this is purely
as a co-streamer, you're a streamer, right? You stream.
Yeah. When I get my internet back on, I'll be streaming full time again. But from my perspective of what I see, the streams themselves are fine without any real major thing taking away from the experience that I'm getting there. But translating it over to being like a VOD or something like that, I think it's just there is too much going on in the YouTube uploads that you guys have. Like it could easily now. I know you don't like the word editing, but if there were like the break sessions being cut out or being shortened down even just a small little bit would make the videos much more digestible.
I was thinking about start editing those. It's mostly if I push back the upload date, then it would be better. It's just that I have Wednesday's my upload date. So when I get off work, I come home, I download it from Twitch, and then I set the upload to go on YouTube. Editing, since it's a 4-hour video to export, it's not gonna go live at 12 because it's gonna export for 4 hours, like 4 hours.
And so, like, just from my perspective, at least, if it is edited even just ever so slightly bit to where you've got that long wait period at the beginning cut out and the midsection break cut down at least a little bit, it has enough time there that it makes the videos much more easy to watch in the long run.
Can I keep my minute and a half intro though? I like my intro.
Oh yeah, no, the intro's fine. That's where everything
It's a
needs to
banger.
start, in my opinion, is right at the intro and then go straight in.
All right, I'll take that into consideration.
But other than that, as far as like story and whatnot's concerned, it's gonna be however it flows, really. And
yeah, I'm looking forward here in a couple levels because, like Momo, like you weren't really part of the last campaign, but okay, it's kind of a slow burn. But once you guys start hitting like level 5, level 6, shit starts picking up quite a little bit. So I'm kind of curious because I've got like some bigger arc kind of stuff that's just kind of waiting out there. That I'm like, okay, what are the players going to engage with? Because do some of them bring you back with characters in previous campaigns? Who knows? Will we ever find out whether or not River or any of his many grandchildren found any more of the 7 Swords of Anron? Will you guys try Bale Ale? Who knows?
that's what I'm waiting for. I am waiting for it.
I can tell you this much. The story of Bale Ale's been passed down in my family for generations. So that's a nobody's all.
Yeah.
Like, there's a part in Kelder's memoirs about that shit. Like, no. Okay, on to some questions.
I've got a question real quick.
Okay, go. You got your questions before I start doing funny shit.
Okay. For both of you, who do you think is going to be the first one to actually drink Pale Ale?
Volred.
Gorbeck.
Volred.
Oh, really? Volred?
Volred for
Oh,
he
yeah,
drinks,
that's true.
Like, it's
Volred will
good
hear
stuff. All right.
strong alcohol, top shelf, and that'll be it.
Extremely
Volred.
rare, finest of
Yes.
tastes. Volred.
Yep.
100%.
You're right.
Gorbeck will do it. Like, he'll see what happens with Volred, and then he'll drink it. It's like, oh, no,
And then he'll drink it afterwards.
The only
yeah.
way I could think about it is if Gorbeck is like, I want to get Volred a gift. What's the most expensive alcohol you have? And, the alchemist or whatever is like, I got this stuff, but it's pretty secretive. And it'd be like, oh, that's the best stuff. Who knows?
Well,
Oh, yeah.
we're past the 30-minute mark, so I'm going to go ahead and show the inside joke from last session and the history behind today's specials, Thick Burgers. So enjoy. This one is entitled Thick Volred Number 1.
Oh.
This was an offhand comment about a Volred just being dummy thick.
Mm.
So this one was by an edit by Tater, one of our many behind the scenes people, and as you can see, he's got a nice little glass going there. And of course, Britmod or Britmix Studios could not be left out of the mix and went with the classic Volred here as well.
Oh.
So this
You're
is
just-
Yeah.
this was the
What do you
big
guys
derail.
call this? Dump truck? Is that what you
Dummy,
called
this is dummy thick, the dump truck
This is
ass.
Dummy thick. Dummy thick with the dump truck ass. Yep.
So those are the reason behind the thick burgers for today's special.
Yeah,
Had to
I
do
don't
that.
generally travel into those parts of the internet, so like that's a lot of stuff that I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
And so with that, I'll go ahead. Eric, what are the 3 things that you think are with the layout today in the tavern? What are the new
Okay,
ones?
so I think Thick Burgers is new.
Mm-hmm. That is correct.
I also believe the chest down in the little stools is new.
Hidden chest is correct.
And I also think that sweet nut milk is also new.
Sweet nut milk is also correct.
Okay.
There are only
That-
those 3 things. You are correct.
Yes, because the dice, the jar of dice was there last time.
Yep.
So was the Fuck the Establishment wanted poster and then the No Electrum.
Yeah.
Because I assume the No Electrum's always going to be there because that's, I mean, you're
We
never
don't-
not going
We
to make
don't
that.
take Electrum here
It's
ever.
undeniable.
If I'm
That's
not
always
here,
there.
if someone does an adjacent with Jace thing where they're hosting it, they can take down the sign and take all the Electrum they fucking want. But while I'm here in my shop, no Electrum. The coat rack
Yeah.
is also there. I'm gonna replace that coat rack with something that doesn't look so fucking awful. It looks
well, you know.
like it clearly stands out as it shouldn't be there. Like it's gonna come to life, like from Beauty and the Beast, and just hit someone with a bat.
Yes.
Yes.
It's or
a
that
mimic.
could be the whole point. Yeah, maybe it's an animated furniture. Those
Brit,
things exist.
Britmix Studios, like, we need an orange filter to hide the new things. Look, I don't want to put filters on shit. It's more work for me. I don't want to do that. So I just took the image and put it
Yeah,
on there
what
and
is
shrunk
this?
it down.
Blue's Clues?
You didn't see behind the scenes when we were fucking around with Momo's background for 15
Oh my
minutes.
god.
He was
Yeah.
literally, he was the background.
Radioactive Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I became a golden man at one point. It was
Yeah, it's
wonderful.
true. A shiny, golden, yet green god. Like,
Shining golden
maybe
dog.
you were the Wizard of Oz.
On to the next question, people. The party at the top of the mountain fought a wyvern. Were you concerned with them extracting the poison, which is one of the strongest poisons in the game, or were you certain they wouldn't mess with it? This one's to the DM. We're all DMs, though. So.
No.
Mm.
Why the fuck would I be concerned? It's like, if I didn't want them to have it, I wouldn't have put it in the game. More than that, I was more concerned that I was going to kill them with the poison. And also, extracting poison from stuff like that is actually a rather difficult process not to be attempted by the untrained. So, more likely than not, they would have ruined most or all of the poison, or ended up poisoning themselves trying to get it out. Because remember, that wyvern didn't have a single stinger, but rather a
Barbed
group
tail.
of spiny barbs. And so, trying to reach in through those poisoned barbs to get at the poison sac would likely have resulted in someone getting pricked.
I can definitely say that it is a difficult task, and I may or may not have an assassin rogue running around in one campaign somewhere with like 4 vials of wyvern venom.
Yes. Which is actually something interesting. I need to have enemies use poison more often against you guys.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's like a perfectly common thing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, 2 of your party members are resistant to poison, have advantage against the saves, but the other 4 don't. Fuck them up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Gander and
Like
Izal.
Caleb.
Oh yeah. Imagine if you hit Caleb with that sticker. It's like, oh man, he's dead.
Oh, yep.
Uh,
He did.
I know the reason I don't use it very often is because I gave the party in my campaign a wide berth of things to pick from, and they all managed to get poison resistance or immunity in some form or fashion.
No, it was just me. I'm the only one who got it, but I'm completely immune to it. 'Cause
Yeah.
I would. Oh, we have access to anything that's slower. Well, I am just gonna get all the best things that don't require attunement. Like this one,
Yeah.
this one, this one, this one, this one, and then I just do crazy shit with magic items now. Because I'm a power gamer. Okay, on to the next question. I think someone in the campaign did try to extract some poison. They said they'd try to get a vial and like get some of that. I don't remember who, but I think it was attempted.
Yes, someone stole some of the quills. I think that may have been Volred.
I thought it was Gander who took them.
Might have been
wanted to
Gander.
study them.
Someone tried to deftly remove some of the quills, and haven't done anything with them at this point, which means they're probably pretty much useless at this point. I don't know. I'll have to see how long quills like that.
How long do magic quills work?
Yeah, I don't know.
On to another question. Question for both. I can say for both. There's 3 people here. Are you both ready for Caleb sending spells to Endy? Well,
Yes.
I think we all know that Eric just loves when their players use the sending spell. Just loves it.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Look, I can tell you from my information, he's already told me that he is going to, at one point in time, at least once, contact me.
I
So
said-
it's going to
So,
I sent sending spells to just fucking random NPCs we met.
yep.
Just chatting it up. Like, hey, what's going on? How you doing? It's like,
Yeah,
You
they're
haven't
like,
seen them
what
in 3
the?
months."
Who are you?
I met that one time.
Yeah, it's just like, who are you talking to? Yeah, you know that guy we bought horses from in that podunk town like 3 months ago? He's like,
No.
no. I mean, we had we spoke all of 10 words. It's like, yeah, I was talking to that
Oh, I
guy.
was talking to him.
It's like, why? I was like, I don't know.
I was bored.
Seriously though, I'm reversed. That asshole way over at the end of the bar would literally, he wanted to know the name and backstory of every NPC, and out of nowhere he'd be like, oh, it's the end of the day, how many spell slots do I have? So that's 7 sending spells. I'm just gonna pick 7 people at random to send sending spells to.
I pull out my notebook and like, all right, this is why you take notes, people, of NPC names and get to know them. That way you can chat it up.
Well, the
Yep.
fact is, I played a really old character, so I imagine it like some grandma or grandpa pulling out like their contact book in order to call up their friends
Oh,
or to
Kelder
send
had a
out
book.
letters
He
and
didn't,
stuff.
He didn't remember this shit. He wrote it all down.
Yeah, that's all I'm imagining at this point. It's like
Hold on, let me just.
he's just pulling out this book and he's looking through it. Oh, let's see. Oh yeah, I remember old Jebediah.
Who you talking to? I'm talking to the king. What? Yeah, Grice. We talked to him for a while. How's it going? He's past
Yeah.
his bedtime. He should really go to bed.
But
My-
on the
I just
other
ramble
hand,
on and
though,
shit.
as a dungeon master, though, it is nice. So that way, at least someone bothered to remember the names and stuff of NPCs. But it also kind of sucked because that means that I had just NPCs.
You had to also remember them.
You had to remember each and every one of them.
I did
Yep,
it. I did it to Momo too in his campaign. I started at talking to like every fucking NPC. I was like, then I got bored with it.
Yeah, then he got bored of it one day and he's like, yeah, I'm done with this. I'm not gonna care.
Okay, on to another question. This question's for Endy. Do you think Kuliberg made it back to the Kodal, or do you think he was killed and the Kodal died?
I think he made it back. I have no reason to suspect that Eric just straight up went and killed him off
Yes, I
screen.
looked to my left. Eric, did you kill Kuliberg off screen?
Well, I suspect, though I don't necessarily know this to be true, I suspect that so long as Kuliberg took the path that the goddess of the mountain told him to, that she said was a safe path, and would take him right back to the village, I assume he made it.
Right.
They got this
So-
going in another direction.
And really, at this point, it's so long as Tater didn't fuck it up, then he should be alive.
There's
Oh,
no
then
such
at which
thing as
point-
chance.
At which
Yes.
point, yeah,
Which
that
means if he
cuddle's
did
dead.
it, he willfully
Did that
killed
shit on
himself.
purpose and took a right.
Right.
Hey man, I've had characters, go non-optimal directions when given options before.
It's such a vague statement, Eric. Could you elaborate more on certain
You
situations?
can go left or right. I'll go straight. Yeah.
Whack.
Kilmo knows. Kilmo knows.
That I will make my good old, what was that, Kilmo Pass? Or you named it.
Yeah.
That was thousands,
Well,
man, that was millennia ago, man. I wonder if it's
Its
ro-
face
ro-
was
has it
imprinted
eroded,
in the wall.
has it eroded
Well,
away smooth, or did the wind buff it in so now it's an actual tunnel?
You don't know. You'd have to figure it out. But like, that's the dumbest thing in the world. Like, the part that was the funniest about that is that first off, he was a half-orc barbarian. So like his intel, and that's back in 3.5 where half-orcs got a
-2.
penalty to intel. So like, he was not a smart boy. And so, but what was funny is when I go, you can go left or right, and he says, I go straight. And I go, no, you don't understand. You can go left or you can go right. He's like, I know, I want to go straight. I'm like, all right, let me get this. Of the directions you can go, you can either take a left in one direction, or you can take a right in a different direction. It's a T. There is no going straight. Left or right. He's like, I go straight. All right, you know what? Fine. You walk right into the face of the mountain. And he's like, what the hell?
Full strength.
And I'm like, dude. He's like, well, I'm sorry. I misunderstood what you were saying. I was like, ow.
Hold up your
Ow.
heads. Left, right. Pick one or the other. Not this.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the sad part is it was 100% not scripted. That was 100% the player, not the character, and yet it was 100% on brand for the character.
Apparently, Tater rolled a 4.
He rolled a 4.
For his intelligence
Kulibert.
check. How did
Kulibert went the wrong way.
the nature fucking cleric get lost in his own house? Kulibert is dead.
Kulibert is dead.
Oh, breaking news, everyone. Kulibert died. Sad times.
Bad times.
Yeah.
Can't be helped.
Oh well.
So, Momo, I got a question for you. Because
Okay.
you're a spectator now.
Oh,
so I
yes.
refuse to let you come back into the game. As the producer, I can just have you not show up. Oh, he's got technical difficulties. Block his VPN. As a player, we are currently going into a fight against 3 bugbear that ambushed us. Do you think there are more than just the 3 bugbear? Or do you think this is one of those chaos things where the goblins don't know what they're doing and they're kind of just attacking? Also, how badly are these bugbears going to get fucked up against basically a full party of 6?
I want to lean towards
7
the
if
latter.
you count murder.
All right. I want to lean towards the latter. But there's always a possibility that this is not just a standard little bandit group that, happened across you by chance. So it could be higher. It could be that these are the remnants for the guys from the mountain that they've been following, waiting their time for the opportune moment.
They're about to go to sleep. We'll get them now. I don't know. They look pretty tough. That one girl fucking killed the captain. Like
That or this
single-handedly.
is Ranger Rick.
Or do they have red sashes, Eric? I need to know this beforehand. Do they talk like Patrick Wharton from?
You'll find out at the beginning of next
Do
session.
they have heavy crossbows?
You'll find out at the beginning of next session.
Oh no, beats.
Mm.
The forest came alive. We are near the end of the session of Adjacent with Jace. So, as per tradition, I would like all of you to tell me top of the Deadpool. I'm not doing the percentile right now. That's the last.
I know.
Top of the
I know.
Deadpool.
Top of the Deadpool.
now. Now, keep in mind, there's a crazy murder cow in here now that could potentially kill any one of the party members.
Eric, do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I think whoever comes up with an answer first should go.
Top of the Deadpool for me is Caleb. He's a wizard, he's squishy, and he is not very oriented towards actual combat. He's more of a utility wizard and not an abjuration wizard, which means he's not quite as tanky as he should be for that kind of role. So I think it's going to be Caleb.
Everyone knows abjuration's the best class anyway. So.
I feel like it will probably be Caleb. I feel like it could. So, because I'm thinking of this as the dungeon master, because if you are a monster and you're trying to fight people, at first I would say it's got to be Gorbek, because as soon as Gorbek heals someone, it's like, oh, he's a healer, we got to get him down. So it would be Gorbek. But Gorbek doesn't really heal a whole lot.
He kisses people back up to life.
Inspiration, really. So, I mean, let's be fair. Gorbek is basically a bard, but doesn't use really any of his bard abilities.
He's a bad sorcerer is what he is.
Yeah, a really bad sorcerer.
Bad sorcerer or a warlock, somewhere in between.
Caleb, on the other hand, does use spells, and he likes to use sleep. The same way that Caleb got targeted back at the top of Mount Arbot when he cast sleep, and they're like, oh, fuck no, this is not happening. That's going to happen. Caleb's going to do something, and they're going to be like, this guy, top priority.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be like, this crazy dwarven chick, she'll be much easier to handle when all of our party members are dead.
Well, you're wrong, because then I'll just kill all of you individually, all together.
Well,
you'll come closer to me, and then I can hit you.
True, but it might be a calculation where they'll say, oh, this crazy dwarven barbarian chick, it's going to take us a while to get through her. We just got to kill these other guys really fast, so that way we can swing back. And then the question is do they end up downing the party quickly?
Yeah.
I think I also agree, because I normally don't vote on the Deadpool, but with Gorbek potentially not doing crazy ass dumb shit off screen or out of combat, the chances of Caleb dying go up. And I would say Arthur's still up there too, because of how close are you to combat in danger zones and how much HP you have.
Yeah.
He's got Caleb's worth of HP. So
yeah. And the single digit, single Caleb.
But there is the issue, like you said, where the wizard's going to attract attention because he casts the spells, and then the wizard has his own issues.
See, that's the hard part, because Bevo and I were actually having this conversation the other day, because he was talking about combat and criticizing some of my choices in Mount Arbot, and I said, look, dude, you gotta.
He said it on the show. He criticized you on the show.
He criticized me more after the show. I said, dude, you have to look at it this way. These guys have these opinions. When combat starts, it's not perfect information. They don't know what you're capable of. You generally don't know what they're capable of. Now, if you guys have fought bugbears and hobgoblins and stuff like that, you guys walk in with more information than the monsters do. The monsters do not know that you have a healer with your group. They do not know that Caleb is squishy. They don't know this information. So they have to learn it. And that means, yes, unfortunately, there are some suboptimal decisions you are going to see the monsters make in just about every fight, because the monsters typically do not survive the fight. So they do not learn. So every new group of monsters you guys fight has to learn your shit all over again.
Yep.
Can't wait for a bad guy to finally escape the fight. That's when it gets fun.
So, at the moment, it's a situation where they're like, oh, well, you didn't attack Caleb because, you want to spare him. And it's like, no, they don't know what Caleb's capable of. They're like, they think he's down. They don't know Gorbek can heal. And so when Gorbek uses his turn to heal, they're like, all right, that little gobby can heal. That is good to know. We got to kill that gobby. And then so unfortunately, there's a certain amount of grace that you guys get in every fight that the monsters don't benefit from.
I generate my own advantage. Now it's time for the final question. Could you two roll a D percentile?
Ooh.
Percentile!
Kalen's voted 14 times, man.
81.
81. Mama.
9.
Wow, that divine intervention worked again.
Yeah.
89 and 1, or 81 and 9.
81-9.
Yes, which is interesting because he got 9. I got 81.
Which
8
adds to
plus
9.
1 is 9. And
Illuminati.
when you look at it that way, like 81 plus 9 is 90, which 9 plus 0 is also 9.
It's all 9s.
It's all 9s.
Mind blown. No.
That is called arcane geometry.
Oh yeah.
It's like, what is this? Let me explain. Points at this Charlie Day meme where he's putting out the board trying to explain geometry. He's like, aha. I got none of that.
No. Nothing.
Yes.
Something about an angle and a hypotenuse.
I'm always curious whether or not Gander's actually going to take up that class.
Geometry?
Arcane geometry, which is a wizard subclass. Not in the book. It's a side one, but it's waiting in the wings in case he ever chooses to take.
We'll see after this elven stuff. We could find some information. Maybe he'll be nerded. He'll nerd himself out or something. Although Kalen steals books. He's a book stealer.
The arcane mathematician.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting one too. Yeah, that book's got to get some more playtime.
Mathematician? You mean when he's summoned, you get to send one monster from your deck to the... Anyway, thank you all for coming. I really have to go. I hope you liked watching this really crappy show. Like, follow, subscribe is what I'm supposed to say. And as always, I will see you next Tuesday. Good night, everyone.
Good
night.
Walking hand in hand on the ocean floor, down deep we wonder. Louder we sing, no there is no cure in this together.